Welcome to 3D Learning. This is sports, the last video in the series of 10. The topic is Taekwondo, the specific sport, and whether pregnant participants should be allowed to participate. You can expand it to many sports that are very intense, and should pregnancy be an issue? That's what we want to debate soon. In the last one, we want to have a little check. Did the statement already be decided and agreed to? That should be already done. Set the teams. If you have a small group and you have two different teachers, they should already have decided what to do. Choose the position. Each side will defend. That should also be done. And as a team, choose which point each person or team will present. So you have already prepared for and against. And you should already have your points ready. Each person will listen to the opposite point and create a new response. So that's how you start, and that's what we've been doing. Creating responses to what the other person has presented, both in opposition and for support. Most debates allow for one presentation from each team member initially. So you get one shot to say what you want. And that's why before in another video, we said write out your speech, write out your point. Because you have 3 minutes to speak. The first person, one person, whoever it is, one person in the team will open with the introduction. Now, you all have an introduction, so work on the introduction and say, this is what we are presenting. This is our statement, and we are for support of this statement. Or we are for against. We are opposing this statement. So we would say opposing, not against. Opposing. Support and oppose. We want to use those words. And so whatever choice you have, all your topics will relate it to that negative statement or positive statement. You have the first person will open with a presentation of your 5 arguments or 4 arguments, whatever number is in your team. These are the arguments, and then you will stop. The other team will open with their arguments and their introduction, and it should be person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, person 5. You want that in your introduction. You don't want to mix and confuse who does what. You already have that put down on paper. And so the first person has 3 minutes. After the first person introduces the idea, the opening, the first person to argue, after that, will have 3 minutes. And then the next team will respond to the point and give a new point. You have 1 minute to respond. 1 minute to say, we disagree, and why do you disagree? 1 minute is kind of short, so you have to be very precise. You already have that information. You make sure it's precise, and you can practice the timing. And then you have your point, which is 3 minutes, and be precise, because you want to have all your ideas in that 3 minutes. And then around the circle it goes until everybody has had at least one shot. After all the persons have spoken, each can respond to any point given by the opposite team. So you can challenge. Maybe you heard something and you were writing down your notes. Remember, note-taking is important. You were taking down some notes that this person said something that maybe you found was not true, or maybe it was not relevant. It doesn't fit the statement, or maybe what notes did you take? And you can challenge that person, but you have to have the notes so you don't forget who said it. And you have to provide support when you disagree. You disagree and you give your support in very short, precise ideas. This goes on for a little bit, and then the public will be invited to ask. After the closing arguments, you've presented your case, you've presented your arguments, and this is what we proved, this is what we stand for, this is our position. In your conclusion, one person will do the conclusion. One person, doesn't have to be the same as introduction, but another person will bring the conclusion using the same sequences, but a different ideas about what you did. What did you prove? And then maybe the moderator will ask the public, or have already pre-questions from the public to be asked of each team, and somebody from the team will respond. So why you have categories and why you have different arguments, the public, they will ask a question not always about one person, but you have to choose who's going to respond. Sometimes they will ask about the person, and then that person will respond. Because, the public, they're taking notes too. So then you respond, and that's why you have your fact sheet. You don't know what people are going to ask. So you have that fact sheet, and you have a for and against already ready for you. So now you're ready. Well, you're never ready till it's over. This should be already half filled out. The date, the where, the what, the time, that should be filled out already from day one. The team names, the team names, the judges, and the statement can be filled out close to the end, or at the end of this class. You can put in those. It's very simple. A little letter. Dear teacher or student, this is only part of a curriculum. Challenging the status quo is important for students to discover and explore new ideas. Moving out of the personal comfort zone heightens the motivation to take risks. Creating the challenge through debate builds a better foundation for any future job and discussion. It is not helpful to poke eyes out only, but it is useful to understand why the blindness and have a solution to solve the problem. Going beyond is the expansion into essay writing. Good essays are able to build and defend an argument. Building a structure for debate will springboard off this skill set. Professor Paul R. Friesen, that's me, Assistant Professor, Korea Nazarene University, 2021. Many people poke eyes. You are wrong. This is wrong. Blah, blah, blah. And we just poke eyes. We just poke at people. Don't just poke at people. Understand why they are not having the same view as you. Then you're not poking. You're helping the blind man see. You're not creating blindness. You're helping the blind man see. The week you practiced your arguments. You've begun to practice for the debate. Ongoing, continuing. Review the added vocabulary from the original story. And do you feel ready? You're never ready till it's over. But you're getting better. I can hear it already. I can feel it. Have a great debate. Have good practice. And listen to your teacher, and always challenge.